actually go outside in these things?
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
What's going on, everybody? I am Winston A. Marshall, aka the Swaggy Blerd, and this is my C.P.T. rewatch of X-Men, the 2000s film that kicked off the Fox Marvel universe. Now, if this is your first time here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when content's coming out. And I would really appreciate it, as far as the algorithm goes, to make sure to leave a comment about how you feel about the film, if you agree or disagree with my thoughts, and leave a like if you enjoyed everything that goes on here today. Now, for those wondering why I'm doing a rewatch right now of the Fox Marvel Universe, we are only a few weeks away from Deadpool and Wolverine. So I am going through all of the Fox Marvel Universe films, doing a rewatch of them and giving my thoughts about what was going on with the film, how I feel about it, if it holds up, etc., etc. So super quick on the logistics of the movie. Directed by Bryan Singer, screenplay by Solid Snake himself, David Hayter.
Metal Gear.
Starring Patrick Stewart as Professor X, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Ian McKellen as Magneto, Halle Berry as Storm, Famke Janssen as Jean Grey, James Marsden as Cyclops, Rebecca Romaine Stamos as Mystique, Anna Paquin as Rogue, and Ray Park as Toad, and then Tyler Mane, who played Sabretooth. So those are all the key players here. The quick story that we end up with: you start off with a cold open with Magneto as a child during the Nazi era, learning that he has powers, and that's kind of our kicking it off for what mutants are. We jump to the modern day, where Robert Kelly is actually in a congressional meeting trying to get the Mutant Registration Act popping off, saying that you never know if a mutant is a good mutant one way or the other. You have Dr. Jean Grey there trying to talk that down and keep it from going on. But Charles Xavier is there, sees it's going sideways. Magneto shows up, they have a little conversation, and then they keep it pushing. Meanwhile, in Mississippi, you have Marie. She ends up putting her boyfriend in a coma after kissing him, and her powers kick in, so she goes on the road as Rogue, goes to Alberta, meets a Logan who is going by Wolverine because he's doing a cage match where he is whooping everybody's ass. Ultimately, they start becoming travel buddies, and Sabretooth attacks them, and the X-Men team of Cyclops and Storm show up to save them from demise. Take them back to the school. They meet all the school. They see the school for gifted youngsters and meet everybody. And ultimately, you end up in a situation where you see Toad and Mystique kidnap Senator Kelly. We're jumping over to the Brotherhood here. Take him to Genosha. Magneto explains his plan, a machine that'll turn humans into mutants. Does it to Kelly. Kelly becomes unstable, ends up dying, turning into just all liquid and whatnot. And we start to see how dangerous this machine ultimately is. Rogue ends up running because Mystique does some fuck shit and gets kidnapped by the Brotherhood. So the team, now with Wolverine in their ranks, flies off to go save her, stop the machine. Rogue is being used by Magneto to power his machine. Ends up with the gray streak because she holds on to him for too long. You get a fastball special with Jean and Storm on Logan, all that kind of stuff. Come say, here we are. And the team is like Logan and Rogue are now a permanent part of the team, and we are good on the film. Now, some of the other things with it had a budget of $75 million, box office of $296.3 million. So it really did do work back in the 2000s, man. And I gotta say, it was a film for its time, man. When you think about this, is pre-Spider-Man. So this really kind of set the stage for Spider-Man, where you'll ultimately get Spider-Man 2, which is widely considered by many, not myself, but by many, the best superhero film movie of all time. Set the stage for Marvel films, because the last few superhero films before this were like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, which, you know, I love Batman Forever. Batman and Robin is there because, you know, nostalgia, but, you know, do I like it? Do I hate it?
I wish I knew.
A little shout out for anybody that that watches Capes and Cows with Christian, me, and Coy. Sorry, some of them out. All right, but as far as the pros of the movie, I honestly really think it's hard to do an ensemble piece, and so you got to find your core group to bring in and make that happen. I think taking Cyclops, Storm, Jean Grey, and Wolverine, who are arguably the four probably most popular mutants, as far as if you look at X-Men the animated series or just in general. I think that was really, really smart. I think starting off with Magneto, of all people, who was really the main villain to Charles and the X-Men, I think was also very smart. And I thought it was overall just really well done, setting the stage, seeing some powers that we don't always get to see. Like, for example, Magneto with such precision, being able to hold a bullet that's like rotating in a dude's head and like, oh, I could slip. But then also Charles doing, mind control or freezing everybody, which is something that like you don't normally see him do whenever you're watching like the animated series. Most of the time he's just screaming for his fucking life. I love those things that we got from the film, and obviously focusing on Wolverine I think was very smart, again considering he had been the most popular X-Man for a minute there at the time. Cons. I don't love that you did leave out some other major heavy hitters that people loved. Gambit, for example.
The name's Gambit. Remember it.
You got Iceman, but you didn't get to see Iceman really do a lot. I think it would have been cool to, since he kind of has a love interest with Rogue, and if they figured out that Mystique was the one that sent her off, he forces his way onto the team to go and help. You get the youth kind of thing in there. You have more of that connection. Obviously, they're going to get that connection a little bit further into X2. But I think that was a missed opportunity just for that. And then the other thing, it's the 2000s. So some stuff just doesn't hold up because it can be kind of cheesy. Like, it was cheesy at the time. You know what happens to a toad that gets struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everybody else. Things like that. Did have fun moments of like, what'd you expect, yellow spandex? That was funny. But overall, I think a very solid movie. I'd give it a 3.75, man. Definitely worth a rewatch. And again, I think the thing that like people just don't realize is how this was the linchpin that really was like the reset button for superhero films. It's not always going to be like this. Like, I'll be honest, we're going to get to some movies, Last Stand, or Daredevil, or God forbid, fucking Elektra. No! This at least set the stage that we were able to get some really dope, comic accurate, or as close as you could get films, and I really appreciate what this first one did to kick it all off. But what do you think? Do you rock with X-Men 2000? Or were you like, nah, man, that shit dated as fuck. It's trash. Ain't nobody watched that shit after we got Days of Future Past and First Class and Logan? Fuck that. Let me know down in the comments. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And like I mentioned before, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and throw a like on this if you enjoyed the content today. I'm going to be going through the rest of these. Keep an eye out for X2, The Last Stand, or the X2, X-Men United. I also am going to be, I have my new show, The Blerd Breakdown, giving you that pop culture news we need to know what happened was. I'm doing that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Friday being the Friday Funnies. I'm trying to get as much as I can before I go on vacation this weekend. So you will see all of that coming out. And then if there's any major trailers that pop off, I'm still doing my reviews of The Boys. I'm just doing instant reactions to House of the Dragon. I'm going to let people that are way more versed in Game of Thrones really tackle that one. Because, to that point, I love the show, but like I can't keep up with all the names. I can't keep up with all the lineage. I really can't. I just kind of pay attention to when I'm in it. So trying to explain it to y'all, I think is too much, but I can focus on the acting and I can focus on the production value and all that and really speak on a lot of that. So that's where I'm going to keep my focus there. And then other than that, man, random stuff that'll pop up here and there. I've got a fun sketch that I should be putting out pretty soon as well. So keep an eye out for all of that. So until that time, man, y'all stay safe, and I will see you for the next one, X2 X-Men United. Peace. Ooh, just kidding. Forgot one more thing. What do I think is going to be pulled from this movie into Deadpool and Wolverine? Because we know Deadpool is working with the TVA to save universes. I think the two major things that will probably be pulled. I think, A, you will definitely see, I think, the cage match that we first met Logan in at the beginning. I think that for some reason we're going to end up there. Deadpool's going to have some sort of commentary about all of that. I think that will be really funny to see. And then B, I think either the yellow spandex line or maybe Kelly turning into like ooze I can totally see Deadpool commenting that, or the Toad line. I think the Toad line with the striking of the lightning, I think all three of those are ripe for comedy, and Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy and Hugh Jackman to just eviscerate that and have a lot of fun, no pun intended. So now with that, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.